Willie D. Live.
A federal judge has dealt a setback to Justice Department efforts to seek a new indictment against former FBI Director James Comey, temporarily barring prosecutors from using evidence they had relied on when they initially secured criminal charges. Let me share this video with you guys real quickly, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. Here we go.
The Justice Department is looking to bring a new indictment against former FBI Director James Comey, but now a federal judge is dealing the DOJ a setback. We have Olivia Rubin, who's here now with the details. So, Olivia, what's the latest on this?
Well, as you said, this is a setback in a case that has already been set back for the Justice Department in its efforts to criminally indict James Comey. Of course, they already have done so, but that was dismissed because a judge ruled that the prosecutor who appointed him, put in place by the president, was not lawfully appointed. So that indictment was dismissed, and now the Department of Justice has to go back at it again. But today, they are now hindered from using some of the evidence that they were using previously. This is only temporary, a judge ruling that they cannot have access to some of that evidence that they were using because they may have improperly accessed it, temporarily blocking them, Perry, from using it going forward. This relates to data that they got off of a computer from a friend of James Comey, the former FBI director, who was indicted on charges of lying to Congress. This friend was allegedly the conduit and some of that information on the computer, some of the key evidence that the Justice Department relied on. But here's the catch. The judge said that essentially they had that information from years ago and that they just accessed it again without getting a new warrant. That's something that could have violated the constitutional rights of this friend. So again, this is going to continue to play out. This is just a temporary ruling. But again, it is another blow to this case that has seemed to have some difficulties from the beginning.
And this all comes a few days after a grand jury did not indict New York AG Letitia James. What was the department's strategy in that case after the prosecutor, Lindsey Halligan, was disqualified?
Again, it's the same case as James Comey because that prosecutor, as you say, Lindsey Halligan, she was disqualified. So they have to go after that indictment again. And to see, I will say, to see a grand jury not indict, legal experts in the field often say it's not easy to secure a grand jury indictment, but it's just one side of the story. The prosecutor goes in, they present their evidence. Usually it's not the same bar as convicting someone at trial, right? Those are very different bars. It's a lower bar here. So it's notable that this grand jury did not indict. But again, we'll have to see where the Justice Department goes from here. But again, what we're talking about here is just setback after setback in cases that, critics here say are really just meant to go after the president's perceived political enemies. But of course, the Justice Department and President Trump says are fair and valid investigations and that they will pursue them.
Olivia Rubin, thank you for that. We appreciate it.
A fair. Let me be more professional. The president said that he and the Justice Department are looking only for fair and righteous prosecution of James Comey. This is not personal. Who believes that? Who believes that Donald Trump's pursuit of former director James Comey is not personal? Give me a thumbs up if you believe it. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, it's personal. Say, fam, James Comey did exactly what he was supposed to be doing. This administration and no administration should have that much power over the DOJ. They should not have, the president should not have the type of power that he has over the DOJ, where he can fire people on a whim and he can pressure people to prosecute people. We already knew that the system was compromised, but this is further proof that this system is beyond compromise. Remember, these judges are people too. These judges got families. These judges have careers. And many of these judges are appointed judges, and they want to keep their positions. They don't want to have to worry about running up against some stiff competition and losing their position, or actually even being disbarred. They don't want to have to run into anything like that. So their whole game is, to ride the line. I don't believe that Trump will ultimately be successful prosecuting James Comey. I think he's going to be successful to an extent. I think that eventually he might just get what he wants. He'll probably get the prosecution, because Trump wants to see a high level official go through what he went through when he was indicted on those 34 charges, where he was convicted on those 34 charges. He want to see somebody else go through that. He's vowed to get vengeance on James Comey and Letitia James, the AG over in New York. He's vowed vengeance, and he wants to keep his word. Anytime there's something diabolical, something evil, something negative, and he says he's going to do it and he wants to keep his word on it, he keeps his word. Now, if it's something positive, if it's something meaningful, something of substance, and it's somehow going to help the American people, it's going to give the American people some type of relief, then he doesn't care too much about keeping those promises. But if he promises something bad, he tries to keep those promises, because he knows that a lot of bad people voted for him to carry out bad acts. I know some of y'all bad people are in the comments. That's your problem, not mine. I got to call a strike and a ball. If you didn't move in that type of manner, I wouldn't be calling you out. But I do believe that Trump will ultimately succeed in prosecuting Letitia James and James Comey. He's going to find a prosecutor who can get that job done. And I think that they probably will also get convictions. I think they'll get convictions. They might even send them to prison. Ultimately, they will be exonerated. They will be pardoned. But I think he's going to run them through the mud. He's going to try to drag them all the way through the mud and hurt them as much as he can, because that's what Trump does. That's what he does. He tries to hurt people. And that's because hurt people hurt people. Somewhere down the line, somebody hurt Donald Trump. I don't think you get to be the type of person that Donald Trump is without somebody hurting you. I think something happened to Trump as a child. Something happened to him. And, it carried on through adulthood. A lot of us have experienced trauma, but we don't extract revenge like he does. And we don't go looking for trouble the way he does. Trump actually goes looking for trouble. Every day he wake up, and usually his adversaries are Americans. He's always beefing with Americans. How you beefing with your own citizens, man? You're supposed to be beefing with the people over there. That's like somebody in your house always want to fight you. They're always beefing with you. But then they go out into the rest of the world and they like, hey, we're going to get along. We're doing great. How would that make you feel? How would that make you feel if your family member, let's say it's your mom or dad, they go out into the world and they try to get along with everybody. They go out into the world, they try to get along with everybody. And, we had a wonderful meeting. They always talk about these wonderful meetings they had and how great things turned out. But then when they come home and they deal with you, they become something different. They're diabolical. They're the devil's advocate.